I had a picture-perfect marriage with Amanda for 7 years. Our Seattle home was filled with love, laughter, and dreams. We had everything going for us, until her sister Veronica moved in. She was always watching, always listening, always there. Then one evening Amanda burst through the door, waving hotel receipts in my face. Her expression twisted from confusion to rage, as she accused me of cheating. When she screamed for me to get out, I simply said, "One day you will regret this." Where are you watching from today? Drop a comment below, and subscribe to hear the shocking truth about trust betrayal and sweet redemption. Our love story began at a mutual friend's birthday party 9 years ago. I spotted Amanda across the room, her infectious laugh drawing me in immediately. I was captivated by her intelligence and warmth. We talked until the party ended, and I knew that night she was special. "Kenneth, stop being so dramatic about our first meeting," Amanda used to tease me whenever I told the story. But that moment truly changed my life. Within 6 months, we were inseparable. I worked as a software engineer at a respected tech company in downtown Seattle, while Amanda excelled as a marketing executive for a major retail brand. We complemented each other perfectly. My methodical, analytical approach balanced her creative, spontaneous nature. After 2 years of dating, I proposed during a sunrise hike at Mount Rainier. When she said yes, I felt like the luckiest man alive. Our wedding was intimate but beautiful, surrounded by close friends and family at a vineyard outside the city. We settled into our life together effortlessly. Weekends were spent hiking the lush trails of the Pacific Northwest or experimenting with new recipes in our kitchen. Amanda loved trying exotic cuisines, and I enjoyed the technical precision cooking required. Those quiet Sundays, just us moving around the kitchen together, were some of my favorite memories. 5 years into our marriage, we achieved another dream, purchasing a charming craftsman home in Seattle's Queen Anne neighborhood. The house needed work, but we embraced the challenge, spending weekends painting walls and refinishing hardwood floors. Every nail hammered, every wall painted, strengthened our bond. Our home became a physical representation of our love and partnership. "This is our forever place," Amanda said the night we moved in as we sat on the floor eating takeout surrounded by unpacked boxes. I believed her completely. How could I have known that forever would last only 2 more years? The trouble began when Veronica, Amanda's younger sister, moved to Seattle after a nasty breakup. What started as just a few weeks of her crashing on our couch quickly turned into months of a permanent house guest. "She just needs time to get back on her feet," Amanda would say, whenever I gently suggested Veronica find her own place. Family sticks together through tough times. I understood family loyalty. I truly did. But something about Veronica made me uneasy from the start. She was similar to Amanda in appearance, with the same chestnut hair and bright smile, but there was a coldness in her eyes that her sister lacked. At first I dismissed my concerns as unfair judgment. After all, Veronica was going through a difficult time. But small incidents began to accumulate. I would return from work to find my desk drawers slightly ajar, or my laptop moved from where I had left it. When I mentioned these things to Amanda, she would brush them off. "You probably just forgot how you left things," she would say with a little laugh. "You have been working a lot lately." Then there were the comments. Subtle at first, but increasingly pointed. "Kenneth sure works late a lot for someone in tech," Veronica remarked one evening over dinner. "I thought those companies were all about work-life balance." "My team is in crunch mode for a product launch," I explained, feeling oddly defensive in my own home. I bet," was all she said in response, but her tone implied much more. I noticed how these small seeds of doubt affected Amanda. She began texting me more frequently during the day, asking when I would be home. She would check my phone when I was in the shower. Little by little, trust was eroding, and I felt powerless to stop it. The final straw came when I found Veronica going through my wallet one Saturday morning. I had come downstairs earlier than usual and caught her red-handed at the kitchen counter. "What are you doing?" I asked, my voice sharper than intended. She jumped quickly, putting the wallet down. "Oh, sorry, Kenneth. I needed singles for the bus, and thought you might have some. I was going to replace them, of course." It was plausible, but something in her expression told me she was lying. When I told Amanda about the incident later, her response shocked me. "Are you seriously accusing my sister of stealing?" she demanded, immediately defensive. "Why would she need to steal from us when we are giving her a place to stay for free?" It was the first time I saw clearly how Veronica had positioned herself between us, and it frightened me. The next few weeks brought a noticeable chill to our home. Amanda became increasingly distant. Our conversations grew shorter, more functional. "How was your day?" was answered with "fine," rather than the detailed stories we used to share. I tried to address the issue directly one night after dinner. "Is everything okay between us? You seem elsewhere lately." Amanda barely looked up from her phone. "Everything is fine. Just tired from work." But it was more than fatigue. When I would enter a room where Amanda and Veronica were talking, their conversation would abruptly stop or shift topics. I began to feel like an outsider in my own marriage. I suggested date nights, weekend getaways, anything to reconnect with my wife, away from the growing tension at home. Each invitation was met with excuses. "I have a big presentation," or "I promised Veronica we would check out that new exhibit." Amanda always had a reason why we could not spend time alone together. Text messages between us changed too. Gone were the spontaneous "I love you" messages and inside jokes. Instead, I received functional communications. "We'll be late. Do not wait up," or "We need milk." As painful as this distance was, nothing prepared me for what happened 3 months after Veronica moved in. I came home from work one evening to find Amanda sitting rigidly at our dining table. Spread before her were several hotel receipts. Veronica stood behind her, arms crossed, expression unreadable. "What is this?" Amanda asked, her voice eerily calm. I approached slowly, confused by the tension in the room. "What are what?" She pushed the receipts toward me. "Hotel Grand, downtown. 3 different nights last month." Her eyes flashed with anger. "While you were supposedly working late." I picked up the receipts, examining them with growing disbelief. They had my name on them, my credit card information. But I had never stayed at this hotel, never even been inside it. "These are not mine," I said firmly. "I have never been to this hotel." Amanda's laugh was bitter. "Really? That is your defense? These have your name, your credit card number." "I do not know how they got my information, but these are not mine." I insisted, mind racing to make sense of the situation. Someone must have stolen my identity. Or, then it clicked. I looked up at Veronica, who was watching the scene unfold, with an almost imperceptible smile. She had been going through my wallet. She had access to my credit card information. "Did you check the actual credit card statement?" I asked Amanda. "These charges would not be there because I never made them." Veronica already checked, Amanda shot back. "The charges match." "Stop lying." As I opened my mouth to respond, Veronica spoke up. "I was trying to use your joint account to order a thank you gift for letting me stay here. That is when I noticed the charges." Her voice dripped with false concern. The argument escalated quickly. Every explanation I offered was shot down. Every defense was twisted into further evidence of guilt. "Who is she?" Amanda finally demanded, tears streaming down her face. "Do I know her? How long has this been going on?" "There is no one else," I said, my voice breaking. "I would never cheat on you. I love you." "Get out!" Amanda suddenly screamed, standing up so forcefully her chair toppled backward. "Get out of my house right now." I stood my ground, suddenly calm, despite the storm around me. Looking directly into her eyes, I said quietly, "One day you will regret this. When you discover the truth, you will remember this moment and wish you had trusted me." Veronica stepped forward, placing a protective arm around her sister. "You heard her. Leave." As I packed a bag, my hands shaking with shock and grief, I heard Veronica comforting Amanda in the next room. The sound of my wife's sobbing tore through me. But even worse was catching a glimpse of Veronica's face as I passed the living room, a look of triumph barely concealed beneath her mask of concern. I left the home we had built together with nothing but a suitcase and the crushing weight of being falsely accused by the person I loved most. The days following my abrupt departure from our home passed in a blur. I checked into a downtown hotel, ironically, not the one from the fake receipts, and tried to make sense of what had happened. I called Amanda repeatedly, leaving voicemails pleading for a chance to talk things through rationally. She never answered. After 3 days, my calls started going straight to voicemail. She had blocked my number. I moved into a small, furnished apartment across town the following week. The sterile, impersonal space was a stark contrast to the warm home we had created together. Each night I would sit on the lumpy couch staring at my phone, willing it to ring. I tried reaching out through friends but discovered another painful truth. Most of our mutual friends had already heard Amanda's version of events. Some sent curt texts, telling me how disappointed they were in me. Others simply ghosted me entirely. "You seemed like such a good guy," wrote Tim, a friend I had known since college. "I cannot believe you would do this to Amanda." No one wanted to hear my side of the story. No one questioned the evidence, flimsy as it was. It was easier to believe I was a cheater than to consider the alternative that Amanda's sister had orchestrated an elaborate deception. The isolation was crushing. I had lost my wife, my home, and my social circle in one fell swoop. Work became my only refuge, though concentrating was nearly impossible. I found myself making careless errors, missing deadlines, spacing out during important meetings. "Is everything okay, Kenneth?" my manager asked after I blanked during a presentation. "You have not been yourself lately." I considered lying, saying I was fine, but instead found myself breaking down in his office, the whole story pouring out of me. To my surprise, he was understanding, suggesting I take some personal time and recommending a therapist who had helped him through his own divorce years earlier. Dr. Lorraine became my lifeline in the weeks that followed. During our twice-weekly sessions, she helped me process not just the loss of my marriage, but the profound injustice of being falsely accused. What hurts most, I admitted during one session, is that Amanda believed her sister over me over 7 years of marriage. How could she think I would do that to her? People tend to believe what aligns with their fears. Dr. Lorraine explained gently. If Amanda already had insecurities about your relationship, Veronica's evidence would have confirmed what she feared most. 2 months after our separation, divorce papers arrived at my apartment. Amanda wanted a clean break, a quick dissolution of our marriage, with minimal contact. The paperwork cited irreconcilable differences rather than infidelity, small mercy. I considered fighting it, demanding my day in court to clear my name. But Dr. Lorraine helped me see that prolonging the legal battle would only extend my pain. Sometimes the healthiest thing you can do is accept what cannot be changed and focus on rebuilding, she advised. With a heaviness I cannot describe, I signed the papers. Our 7-year marriage ended with the stroke of a pen based on a lie I could not disprove. Healing did not happen overnight. For months I went through the motions of living without really engaging with the world. Work, therapy, sleep, repeat. The walls of my apartment remained bare, boxes unpacked. It did not feel like home because home was still with Amanda in my heart. Dr. Lorraine encouraged me to establish new routines to create structure in my upended life. I joined a gym more to have somewhere to go in the evenings than out of any fitness goals. I started cooking again, simple meals at first, then gradually trying more complex recipes like Amanda and I used to make together. 6 months after the separation, Dr. Lorraine suggested I join a hiking group. "You used to enjoy hiking with Amanda," she pointed out. "Do not let her take that joy from you too." Reluctantly, I signed up for a Saturday morning hike with a local outdoors club. The familiar rhythm of walking mountain trails brought unexpected comfort. Nature did not care about my broken marriage or the injustice I had suffered. The mountains stood indifferent and eternal, putting my problems into perspective. I started going every weekend. The physical exertion helped quiet my mind, and gradually, I began to connect with other members of the group. No one knew my story. No one looked at me with pity or judgment. I was just Kenneth, the quiet guy who knew a lot about local plant life. Through the hiking group, I met new friends who had no connection to my life with Amanda. People who took me at face value rather than through the distorted lens of rumors and accusations. Among them was Sophia, an art teacher with a quick laugh and thoughtful eyes. Unlike the others who respected my reserved nature, Sophia gently but persistently drew me out of my shell. She would ask specific questions about the flora we passed, knowing my interest in native plants. She would save me a spot at group dinners after hikes, making it impossible for me to slip away unnoticed, as I often did. "You know it is okay to be happy again," she told me one evening, as we lingered after the rest of the group had left the restaurant. "Whatever happened before, you deserve joy." Something about her straightforward kindness broke through my carefully constructed walls. That night, sitting across from her at a corner table, I told her everything, bracing myself for the doubt, the questions, the inevitable pulling away. Instead, she reached across the table and took my hand. "I believe you, Kenneth," she said simply. Those 4 words healed something in me that therapy and time had not yet touched. For the first time in nearly a year, I felt the weight of constantly defending my innocence, even if just in my own mind began to lift. Sophia and I started spending time together outside the hiking group. She showed me her favorite art galleries and taught me basic watercolor techniques. I introduced her to my favorite trails and cooked her dinner in my apartment, which finally began to feel like a home with her laughter filling its rooms. Our relationship developed slowly, built on a foundation of honesty and respect. I was terrified of being hurt again, and Sophia understood, never pushing for more than I could give. When I would withdraw, haunted by memories of Amanda's accusations, she would give me space but remain steadfast in her support. After dating for 8 months, I asked Sophia to move in with me. We found a new apartment together, a fresh start for both of us. 2 months later, on a snowy December evening, I proposed during a walk through a park adorned with holiday lights. When she said yes, I felt something I thought I would never experience again: pure, uncomplicated joy. It was exactly 1 year and 2 months after Amanda had kicked me out of our home, and I was finally free from the shadow of her sister's lies. Or so I thought. The truth found me unexpectedly on a Friday night. I had stopped for a drink at a bar near our new apartment, while waiting for Sophia to finish a late parent-teacher conference. I was scrolling through my phone when someone bumped roughly into my bar stool. Well, look who it is. The cheater himself. I looked up to find Veronica swaying slightly before me, clearly intoxicated. My stomach dropped. I had not seen her since the night I left the house. "I am not staying," I said, immediately reaching for my wallet to pay my tab. "Enjoy your evening, Veronica." She grabbed my arm, her fingernails digging in. "Running away? That is what you do best, right?" I carefully removed her hand. "I have nothing to say to you." "But I have something to say to you," she slurred, following me as I moved toward the door. "Do you want to know a secret, Kenneth?" I should have kept walking. Nothing good could come from engaging with her. But some part of me needed to hear whatever she had to say. "What secret, Veronica?" Her face twisted into an ugly smile. "Those hotel receipts, I made them up. Created them myself. Easy to do with some basic design skills." Though I had always suspected as much, hearing her admit it still knocked the wind out of me. "Why would you do that?" I asked, my voice barely audible. Veronica laughed, the sound brittle and harsh. "Why do you think I wanted you? From the first day I moved in. But you never even looked at me that way." Her eyes narrowed. "Amanda had everything. The perfect husband, the perfect house, the perfect life. And what did I have? Nothing. So you destroyed our marriage out of jealousy." I could not comprehend the malice required for such an act. "I lied," she continued, ignoring my question, her voice taking on a sing-song quality. "I wanted you for myself. But you never gave me a chance, even after she threw you out." I stood frozen, watching as she swayed on her feet, years of pain crystallizing into this surreal moment. "You ruined my life," I said quietly. Something in my tone must have penetrated her drunken haze. For a moment, her mask slipped, and I saw a flicker of shame. "It was not supposed to," she started, then stopped. "I just thought." But I would never know what she thought, because at that moment she turned and rushed toward the restrooms, overcome by either sickness or remorse. I pulled out my phone and replayed our conversation, which I had started recording, the moment she approached me. The video was dark, but the audio was clear. Veronica's confession in her own words. I sent the recording to Amanda without comment, then blocked her number. Whatever happened next, I was done with that chapter of my life. I had Sophia now, and a future unburdened by lies. 2 weeks after sending the recording, Sophia and I announced our engagement on social media. We posted photos from our engagement photo shoot. Sophia, radiant in a blue dress. Me looking happier than I had in years. Mount Rainier, in the background where my first marriage had begun. A beautiful symmetry, the mountains witnessing both my greatest pain and my return to joy. The congratulations poured in from friends and family. I had not expected to hear from Amanda, assuming she would respect the clear boundaries I had established by blocking her number. I was wrong. The messages started coming through various channels: email, social media, even through mutual friends. Each one more desperate than the last. "I am so sorry. Please talk to me. I should have trusted you. I made a terrible mistake." Veronica moved back east. I have not spoken to her since I heard the recording. I deleted them all, without responding. What was there to say? The damage was done, irreparable and complete. Then came the message that finally broke through my resolve. "Please come back. I was wrong. You are the love of my life. I will do anything to make it right." I showed Sophia the message, heart pounding with unexpected emotion. I did not want Amanda back. Not after everything that had happened. But some part of me needed closure, needed her to acknowledge face to face the pain her mistrust had caused. You should talk to her, Sophia said after reading the message. Not for her, but for you. So you can truly move on. Are you sure? I asked, amazed once again by her understanding. I know who you are coming home to, she said with quiet confidence. This is about healing old wounds, not opening new ones. So I agreed to meet Amanda at a neutral coffee shop downtown. Seeing her again after nearly 2 years was surreal. She looked both exactly the same and completely different, familiar features marked now with new lines of strain and regret. Thank you for coming, she said, voice small and uncertain, so unlike the confident woman I had married. I am here for closure, Amanda. Nothing more. She nodded, eyes welling with tears. I understand. I just needed to say in person how sorry I am. How wrong I was not to trust you. Why did you believe her so easily? I asked the question that had haunted me for months. 7 years together, and you took her word over mine without even investigating. Amanda stared into her untouched coffee. She had been planting seeds for months. Little comments about your late nights, about how men in demanding jobs often stray. When she showed me those receipts, it confirmed fears I did not even know I had. You could have checked the credit card statements yourself. The actual charges would not have matched. She intercepted the statements, Amanda admitted, shame coloring her voice. Told me she was helping organize our finances while I was dealing with the emotional fallout. By the time I saw the real statements months later, I was too proud, too committed to my version of events to admit I might be wrong. She looked up, eyes pleading. When did you know it was her? I suspected from the beginning, I said. But I had no proof until she confessed that night at the bar. I kicked my sister out the day I heard that recording, Amanda said. I have not spoken to her since. What she did to us is unforgivable. The irony of her statement was not lost on me. And yet you are asking me for forgiveness. I know I do not deserve it, she whispered. But we could try again. We were so good together, Kenneth. We could rebuild. I looked at her, this woman I had once planned to grow old with, and felt only a gentle sadness. The anger had faded, leaving behind something like pity. I am engaged to Sophia now, I said gently. She believed me when no one else would. She helped me rebuild when I thought my life was over. Do you love her like you loved me? Amanda asked, a final desperate attempt. I love her for who she is, I answered honestly, and for who I am when I am with her. Someone trusted. Someone worthy of the benefit of the doubt. Amanda flinched at the implied criticism but nodded in understanding. I forgive you, I said finally. Not for your sake, but for mine. I cannot carry the weight of what happened anymore. I need to be free of it completely. As I stood to leave, Amanda reached for my hand one last time. I will always regret what I did. You were right that day when you said I would regret it. We all make choices we regret, I replied. The question is what we learn from them. Walking out of that coffee shop, I felt lighter than I had in years. The final piece of my past had been put to rest. When I returned home, Sophia was waiting, a gentle question in her eyes. It is really over now, I told her, taking her hands in mine. All of it. Today, Sophia and I have been married for 6 months. We bought a small house north of the city, close enough to the mountains for weekend hikes, but near enough to her school for an easy commute. It is nothing like the house I shared with Amanda, which was intentional. We wanted a clean slate, a home without ghosts. What happened with Amanda and Veronica taught me painful but valuable lessons. I learned that trust, once broken, is nearly impossible to fully restore. I learned that the people closest to us can sometimes cause the deepest wounds. But I also learned that those wounds do not have to define us forever. There are days I still think about how differently my life might have unfolded if Veronica had never moved in with us, if Amanda had trusted me, if I had noticed the warning signs earlier. But those thoughts serve no purpose, other than to remind me to be grateful for where I am now. Sophia knows the full story, every painful detail. Her love has never been clouded by doubt or suspicion. She does not check my phone or question my late nights at work. The trust between us is something I cherish daily, never taking it for granted. I no longer harbor anger toward Amanda or even Veronica. What would be the point? Their actions led me to where I am today, happier and more at peace than I ever thought possible after such betrayal. If there is one thing I hope others take from my story, it is this: trust your instincts about people. If something feels wrong, it probably is. But also know that even when everything falls apart, when you lose what you thought was irreplaceable, life has a way of leading you to exactly where you need to be. The pain eventually fades. The betrayal becomes a distant memory. And if you remain open to it, love finds its way back to you, often in a form you never expected. Have you ever had your trust betrayed by someone close to you? How did you find the strength to move forward? Share your stories in the comments below, and do not forget to like and subscribe if this resonated with you. Thanks for listening to my journey, and remember, sometimes losing what you thought you wanted is the first step toward finding what you truly need.